These are the 3 things I wish I learned earlier when I started out in DJing.
It don't make no sense.
Now the 3 following techniques are intended to be learned after you've learned the basics, like beat matching and mixing. So with that said, let's begin learning the first technique, which is how to prepare and use acapellas. Using acapellas can be a daunting task for a beginner DJ, mostly because acapellas are hard to analyze for DJ softwares and hard to use if you don't know when and where to mix them. So to make the process a whole lot easier, let's first learn how to properly prepare our acapella. Step 1. Load your acapella and original track to both decks. Step 2. Set the BPM of your acapella to the original track's BPM. Step 3. Align your acapella and original track together. Step 4. Find where the beat grid of the original track is and set your acapella's beat grid to that position as well. Step 5. Locate the section where you want your acapella to start and cue point its downbeat section. Now our acapella is ready to go with any beat. All you have to do is trigger your acapella at the downbeat section of any song. I personally mix my acapellas in during the chorus and outro section of songs.
Baby, this is what you came for. Baby, this is what you came for.
Here are 4 pro tips on mixing acapellas. Number 1. Always mix your acapellas with tracks of the same key because mixing tracks that aren't harmonically in sync with your acapella will result to a terrible sounding blend. Number 2. Like scratching, never mix your acapella with a track that has vocals. Number 3. To make your mix sound smoother, try activating a reverb effect on your acapella. Number 4. It's recommended to use studio acapellas because those sound the best and most professional. But if you don't have a studio acapella, don't worry. You can rip an acapella from a track with lala.ai audio splitter. So this is the website I use to rip my acapellas from my tracks, and it's pretty simple and easy to use. All you have to do is load up your track,
Oh, bang, 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 bang. Shoot them hoes, shoot them hoes, shoot them hoes, shoot them hoes.
wait for it to process, and once it's done, you can order the tracks acapella and instrumental.
Oh, bang, 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 bang. Shoot them hoes, shoot them hoes, shoot them hoes, shoot them hoes. Want you to.
So if you want to use lala.ai and get a special deal, use the code DJCard30 in their website. Keep in mind that this is a limited code, so act fast. Anyway, let's now move on to the next section, which is how to properly baby scratch. The baby scratch is the most important scratch you'll ever learn because it's your first, and because all scratches are based from this one scratch. So getting good in scratching means getting really good with the baby scratch. So how do you properly do it? Well, the first step is lining up the beginning of your sample to the playhead. So once your sample passes its playhead, you'll hear it. Now the baby scratch works by pushing your sample and pulling back your sample to its beginning. The trick to applying this scratch though is pushing and putting the sample in beat with the song. And an easy way for beginners to get their timing right is to push when you hear the downbeat and to pull when you hear the snare. Now to level up your baby scratch, turn on your deck. With it playing, when you let go of the platter, your sample will play. So what we want to learn here is the proper use of baby scratching and letting go of the platter so that we can hear the sample play. Once you get that movement down, to make your baby scratches sound a lot better, try increasing and decreasing your movement speed as well as changing the pace of your pushing and pulling. So how do we implement this scratch in a DJ set? Well, there are 3 ways. First, queuing up a song. So when mixing the next song in, DJs usually rely on pressing the play or cue button to trigger their song. That's pretty good and all, but to really spice your sets up, try using the baby scratch to mix your next song in. Here are 2 pro tips for baby scratching. Number 1. Turn off key lock / master tempo when you just want to scratch and have fun. This will enable you to better hear your scratches pitch. Number 2. Since nobody's timing is ever perfect, always be ready to joggle your track after baby scratching them in. Now, the most important lesson I wish I learned when I started out in DJing was mixing in key. And this is a technique used by DJs to smoothly transition between songs that have complementary keys with each other. And what this enables is a harmonically pleasing mix of music. So mixing in key for DJs is simplified by the Camelot wheel. And the main idea of mixing in key is mixing your current track with a track that complements its key. The challenge here is knowing what key will match the current track's key. So to help with that, all you really need to know when mixing in key is the T method. So just imagine a T sign on the Camelot wheel with the base of the T being your current track. So if you want to mix a song that has a key of 2A, you can mix a track that has a key of 2A, 3A, 1A, and 2B. Keep in mind that this method just works for basic harmonic mixing. There are way more advanced ways to mix in key. This T method for me just works best for my style of DJing. And speaking about DJing, mixing in key is a great tool to implement in your sets. Just don't overly rely on it when you DJ because the most important thing when you're DJing live is your song selection. So always prioritize that over everything else. Now before we end this video, let me first teach you guys how to adjust your key settings in Rekordbox DJ and Serato so that you can see your keys in the Camelot style. So on Rekordbox DJ, first go to Settings, then click View, then scroll down and at the key display format, click Alphanumeric. And on Serato DJ Pro, go to Library plus Display, then at the Show Key As section, select Camelot. And that's it. If you made it this far in this video, let me know who you are by commenting anything down below with a clover emoji. And with that said, thank you so much for watching everyone and I'll see you all in the next one.